Okay, so for today, we will study a new module called Agile Development. And you may ask, what is Agile Development here? May I ask this question? What do you think Agile Development is? And don't tell me I don't know, just take a guess. Agnieszka.
It's like you don't have all process in one, but you divide it into smaller part and work on each part.
Good. Ramya, what do you think Agile Development is? Take a guess. Don't tell me I don't know, take a guess. Okay, Ahlam, what do you think Agile Development is?
The mindset.
Mindset, it is mindset, indeed. Rodika, what do you think Agile Development is? No, that's not an answer. Give me anything. So Agile Development simply, it's a method. It's a way to develop a software. And by software, I mean any website, any software we work on. We cannot just open our VS Code and try to code like that. It will not work. It's not possible. Why? Because simply we are human, we make a lot of mistakes. And in your code, even if you have the simplest mistake, simply it will not work. So we need to be very careful. And I told you from the beginning, if we have a big problem, we will try to divide this big problem into a smaller problem. Like that, it will be easier for us to solve the problem. Is the idea clear? So what is Agile development? Let's just read the definition, and after that, I'm going to explain it. It's an iterative approach. Iterative, that means a repetitive approach. That means I'm going to do it again and again and again. Project management of software development that help team deliver value. Deliver value, that means give a software, give a product to their customer faster with fewer headache. What's that supposed to mean? They mean to just understand really the Agile development, we need to compare it with an old way, which is called the waterfall. So what the hell is a waterfall? This approach here, the waterfall, it was the old way. Still some company are using it. The idea of waterfall, to build a project or website, I will need to know first what are the requirements. For example, what the website title, what the website it will be about, how many pages do I need? So all the requirement, I need to define my requirement, what programming language I need to use, and so on and so on and so on. So first I need to define all the requirement. After that, I'm gonna design my whole website, everything, I'm gonna design it. After that, I'm gonna start coding it. Developing means start coding. Then I'm gonna test it. Then I'm gonna deploy it. Deploy it mean make it alive online. And then after that, if I have any problem, I will try to fix it. So this approach here, first I need to know what's the requirement. What do they want from me to do in this website? Maybe the website is about medicine. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a pharmacist. I'm a programmer. So I don't know what to build for them. So I need to have like an interview with them, ask them, what do you want? What's the title do you want? How do you want it? What different page do you want? So I need to take all the requirements. What programming language, for example, you want to use? I'm going to suggest for them depending on the project. If the project is very complex, maybe I will say, for example, it's a good idea to use Java on the backend or C#. If it's simple, not that complex, maybe we can build it just using JavaScript in the front end and the backend, or Python on the backend. So I can suggest the software, what programming language we're going to use in the front end and in the backend. But again, I need to know what's the requirement. And not all the time I know, because if the website, as I told you, it's about trees, I'm not scientist. I don't know all information about trees. So I need to meet with the people who have experience, or they want me to build a website for them, so to understand what they want from me. Is the idea clear? That's the requirement. Then I'm gonna design the whole website, everything together. Then I'm gonna develop. Develop means I'm start coding the whole website. Then I'm gonna test it to make sure it's working. Then I'm gonna deploy it. Deploy it means we have some hosts allow us to deploy our websites. That means it will be available online. That's what we call deploying. And after that, I will maintain it. Maintain it means in case there is any bug or problem in the website, I'm going to fix it. So that's what we call the waterfall. In contrast, the Agile development is not like that. The Agile development is say, I'm going to take the whole project. I will understand the requirement. That's okay. I need to plan for the project. And after that, I'm not going to start with the whole project. I'm going to take small part of the website. I'm gonna stick. So I will need to know what the requirement was for the whole project. It's fine, or for this part of the website I'm gonna build. Then I'm gonna design it, develop it, test it, deploy it, and review it, and then I'm gonna start again. So I'm taking simple part of the website. I'm doing the same process, but only on simple part of the website, not the whole website. And then I'm gonna do it for the second part, for the third part, for the fourth part, until I am done. Now, my question for you, what do you think the difference between waterfall and agile? I explained it already. What do you think the difference between the two? Which one is better and why?
Agile is better because
Why?
it's always repeating itself.
Mhm.
I mean the process.
Yeah.
That's why.
Good. Adil, what do you think? Which one is better, waterfall or agile, and why?
Okay.
Why?
Because, for example, in the waterfall, if we did some mistake, we have to change everything.
Exactly.
Yes, too
Exactly.
risky.
The problem with waterfall, I'm building the whole website at once. That means even if I have a simple bug, my website, it will not work. But in agile development, it's different because I'm not taking the whole website. I'm taking part of the website. That means if I have a bug, I know it will be in specific place of the website. So it will be easier for me to fix, and not the whole website. It will be affected because all the other part will be working, except only this part, it will not be working. And it will be easy for me to fix, debug it, fix the bug. And after that, yeah, just try to deploy it again. Is the idea clear? So as you can see, the waterfall idea, it means I need to know the requirement, and after that, I need to requirement, of course, design, and after that, I will build the whole website. Now, the problem with the waterfall is if I make a simplest mistake on the website, it will not be working. Nothing will be working. Why? Because I'm building the whole website at once. And that's the problem. So if I have the smallest bug, my website will not be working. If it's not gonna work, no one will be happy. Your boss not will be happy. The customer will not be happy. No one will be happy because simply it's not working.
Always can change something. If you have the whole website and one thing doesn't work, we can always go into this
But-
problem and.
Yes, but the problem here, you are developing everything at one time. So it will be difficult to find where's the problem because you are building everything at one time. But here it's not the case. Every time you are building a small pieces, it's just like this big problem. We are solving the big problem at one time, but here we are dividing our problem to smaller problem. And like that, all part is gonna work except the part, the smaller part, which have a bug. And like that, it will be easy for me. My website will not be affected because only this part, it will be affected and I can fix it very easy.
Because scope is smaller.
Hmm?
Because scope is smaller.
Smaller, indeed. Is the idea clear? Okay, that's good. Now we know why we're using Agile. Agile is just not just a method to develop software. Also, it's a mindset. What do I mean by mindset? That means it's mentality. You need to be flexible person. That means, for example, if you have some requirement, the customer asks you to build some stuff, and in the next day after you build it, the customer come again and say, that's not what I want to. Because simply the customer is not specialist in programming. So he just give you some information like that. After that, you don't like it. You need to be flexible. And if your code is divided into smaller parts, it's organized well, you will be able easily to switch or modify the code. But if your code is what we call like spaghetti code, everything is together, you will not be able to modify anything. You'll break everything. Is the idea clear? Okay, now normally in Agile development, we have something called sprint. So we have sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, and so on and so on and so on. Can anyone tell me what is the sprint? Relax, someone. It will go now. Can anyone tell me what the sprint is?
Each step,
It's what?
it's each step of the agile development.
Not really, no. Sprint. I just mean one word only. Or two words. What the sprint is? Speak up a little bit. It is?
It's like one round, you have specific goals for.
Yes, but this round is what?
It's a period of time.
Exactly. It's indeed, it's a period of time. So normally the sprint is normally 2 weeks in most of the companies. Some companies 1 week. So each week, for example, let's say we are trying to build our website from the beginning. So we have sprint one, which normally 2 weeks in most companies, some weeks, even some companies, even 1 week. Anyway, in this week, we will gonna gather all the team together, guys. We're gonna start building our project. What you're gonna work on it? I'm gonna work on that. 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 And after that, we have something called daily stand-up. That means every day we need to meet for 15 minutes. For example, I will say, okay, Yana, what you are currently working on every day? We say, okay, I'm currently working on that. I have this problem. And it's like that, we will able to help her and try to fix this problem, because not all the time you can fix the problem. That's we are a team. Because what's important is the final result. If the website is not working, it doesn't matter whose fault. Is my fault or your fault? It doesn't matter. You are working as a team. The whole team will fail. That's why we have daily stand-up. Every day we are meeting 15 minutes. What are you currently working on? I'm working on that. Do you have any problem? Yes, I have problem with that. And we'll try to help her to fix this problem. And so on every day during the whole sprint. At the end of sprint, we have a meeting and we say, okay, I was responsible for this feature and I finished it. Okay, I was responsible for future, but I need more time, for example. So we'll give him a little bit more time. And that's what is the sprint. So the sprint is just a period of time. It's 1 week or 2 weeks normally. Most of the time, 2 weeks in a company. It's just you are gathering with your team, and after that, discussing what you're supposed to do. Do you have any problems? And yeah, simply like that. Is the idea clear? Is that it? Okay, so we have sprint 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, 10, 20, until the project is finished. That's simply Agile development. Any question about Agile? Of course, there is book about Agile. There is book, I mean, it's not that simple as you think. There is book about Agile that are talking a lot of stuff, but for us, what's important is thinking all the time, working in a team, and second, dividing your project into smaller parts. That's the most important thing for us. Is it clear? Okay. For this week, of course, this module, it will be 1 week. We have 3 projects. The first one, it will be all about trees. You should be able to finish it today. And I've already worked on this project, so I have my repo also. You can compare your code with mine, everything with mine, because it's the first project. So you see how I'm working and how you're working, and like that, you will be able to compare your code or your information, let's say, or your planning with mine. Because the most important thing today is the planning. It's not the coding, because you already have the HTML and CSS for this website, which is all about tree. The objective is train you how to plan for a project, which is not an easy at all. It's the most difficult in any project is the planning. Then we will have Loraki, it's another project, and Hack Your Future will try to rebuild part of Hack Your Future website. So how should I work? Well, we have the steps here already. First, you need to use this template repo. You need to create a new repo on your class organization. Is that okay? On your class organization. You name it group 1 or group 2 or group 3 or group 4, you are for group. And after that column, and it will be Agile dash development, and then column, and so it will be all about tree or Loraki or Hack Your Future. So first you need to create a deliverable issue. You know how to create deliverable issue, right? So you need to create a group deliverable issue, all group 1 issue. And after that, what you need to do, you need to use this template to create a repo. You need to add collaborator, your colleague, and you need to give them right access. So not admin, just right access. You need to turn on discussion, turn on GitHub pages, and you need to protect your main or master branch. We did this, all of that last week. Should be clear. Second, you need to define the project definition. So what is the project definition? Here, what is your project about? For the first project, which is all about trees, what do you think the project about? Everyone in the team need to understand what's the project about. You may tell me, oh, the project is about trees. Well, yes, but trees, I can write million websites about trees. Is it about how the tree grows? Is it about the tree nutrient? How can I feed them? How can I take care of them? Is it about some scientific fact about trees? So the subject trees is not a small subject. It's really, really a big subject. You need to know what is the scope of your project. So you need to define exactly what your website will be about. And that's what we call the project definition. The project definition, normally we add it to the main readme.md. Okay? So where the project definition will be? In the main readme.md. After that, you need to define the constraint. Can anyone tell me what are the constraints? We discussed them on Friday a little bit, I think. So it's the boundary around your project. For example, time is a constraint. For example, you only have 1 day to build this project. That's a constraint. You cannot, for example, spend more time. So your project is defined. You just have 1 day. So the time is a constraint. The cost, the money is a constraint. But for you now, you are learning. You are not in a company, so money will not be an issue. So constraint, normally we have external. The external, well, we cannot control them. For example, the time, 1 day, you cannot do anything about it because I'm telling you, you just have 1 day. Okay, that's external constraint. We cannot control them. The second one, there's some internal constraint. For example, the team availability. You are not available today, maybe, or something like that. For example, you are in a team and one of the teammates is not available. He's sick, for example, or one of the team, he does not have enough knowledge in the programming language we are using. That's a constraint, but that's internal constraint, not external, because we can control it. He's part of the team. And that were simply the constraint. Any question about constraints? Question about constraints. Okay, then we have communication plan. How the team will communicate? Are you going to use Slack? Are you going to be in person? Are you going to use Zoom? How you need to communicate with each other? What is your availability? How many hours you are available? 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, and so on. That's what we call the communication plan. Is that okay? After that, the user persona. And user persona is when you build a website, you need to target a specific categories. Your website cannot target everyone. It's not possible. For example, let's say my trees here, my website about trees, who do you think the category will be interested in this project? You need to think about it. Who may be interested in this project?
Parents with kids.
Garden owner, maybe?
And they can discover some information about trees.
Yeah, maybe garden, if they have garden, right?
If you from 6 to 10, they're so curious in this age, so you can discover with your kids information about trees.
Good. Maybe we can make it a little bit better. We say, for example, intermediate school student, for example. He want to write a report. Let's say we have a guy or a girl at the 8th grade. He will need to write a report about trees. And maybe my website will be interesting for him. He can come to my website, get some information, right? So the first category could be an intermediate school student. The second category maybe is a garden owner. If you have a garden, you need to know how to take care of your trees. And maybe this website, the garden owner, he can come to my website to get more information about how to take care of his trees, for example. Yeah, maybe a scientist. A scientist may come to my website and maybe he read this information. This information could be interesting for him or not, but that's not important, maybe. Yeah, I've defined 3 user personas. Now, for user persona, if you want to be cool, you can use this website here. If you click on it, this website allows you to create a nice user persona with, yeah, clicky. Yeah, take some time, it look like. Not sure what's the problem. Let me click here. Okay, if you click on here, you create your persona here, if I'm mistaken. It's free. So you click on this one here, you can define this guy or this guy or this guy. Let's say this guy is let's say this guy is scientist, let's say. No, maybe this guy is garden owner. I will click on that. I'll take the default template. And after that, you can add the bio. The bio here, for example, you can say Dorothy is a garden owner who really interested or he want to take care about his trees. And then what is her frustration? Why he need to come to my website? Because he are searching all the time for information to take care of his garden. That's a frustration. But the problem here is most website is very complex for him to understand because the guy is not scientist, he's just a garden owner, okay? So all websites, there is a lot of websites about trees, but the problem he coming to my website because all the information about the other websites are complex, but my website is simple, let's say. Yeah, something communication and brand and influence, something like that. I will give you the template anyway. And after that, you can write the information here. And yeah, and after that, I think you can take a picture and include it, which is nice. That's fine. That's user personas. After that, we have something called the backlog. The backlog simply is different user story. What do I mean by that? Well, you need to make yourself, or you need to imagine yourself as a user. What do I mean by that? Well, I will give you again the template, but you need to imagine it this way. As a user, you will imagine yourself. As a user, what do you want to see on the website? What do you want to see first on the website? Do you want to see the title or not? So as a user, I want to see the title of the page. And after that, as a user, I want to see maybe some picture about trees. It's kind of, I'm dividing my website into different parts. Let me show you, just give me a second. I think my VS Code, I should have something like that. Visual Studio Code. Yeah, just give me a second. All about trees. Where is all about trees? Deliverable. All about trees. If I click on this one. Voila. So that's simply your website. It's quite simple. It's not complex. Now for user stories, I'm going to divide them this way. Be very careful. Now I'm going here, and as you can see, I have the title of the website, right? So I need, as I told you in Agile development, I need to divide my website into different parts. So maybe I can divide the title here into one part. I make it one user story. As a user, I want to see the title of the page. That's one user story. This user story must be developed on one branch. So each user story must be on a different branch. That means the title, the HTML, and the CSS part of the title must be on one branch. Then after that, I have the logos here. As a user, I want to see the logos of the website. And then you will develop the logo also on a new branch, and you will add only these two trees with HTML and CSS. So as you can see, I'm dividing my website to different parts. The title is one part, then the logo is other part, and after that, this link here, this link, it will be one part, one user story. I need to develop it in one branch. So I currently have one branch, two branch, three branch. Each one of them is a user story. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So tiny pieces. It's so tiny pieces.
I know.
Maybe better to
I know.
write it like footer now.
I know.
Header, but like logo.
I know.
Branch for logo.
I know. But you don't tell me why I'm doing this one, because tomorrow you will work on much bigger project. And you need to also, when the project is a little bit bigger, you can put this one on one branch. But for now, because the website is very small, I want you to train you on the planning. That's why I want you to put the title on different branch, the logo on different branch, the link here in branch, this part on a branch. You can put all of that in the branch, and then the footer on one branch.
Normally you work on header in general.
I'm sorry?
But normally in bigger projects.
Yes, but we are a small project. Just listen to me. I know what I'm doing. Okay. It will be better to learn how to plan for a project. I know our project is very small, but the objective today to train you how to work, how to plan. In order to know the plan, I know it's very small code, but later on you will work on bigger project, bigger code. It's a good idea to learn everything correctly from the beginning. Is the idea clear?
I have a question. I create a branch, so then I put on the title, then I do all the checks, and after that push, and after that I have to come back, create another branch for the logos.
Yes,
All
but
the
it won't
checks,
be, but it will not be you.
It is the individual.
You are a member.
It's individual of group.
No, it's group. So you will have a group. Okay, you have a group. So not when you so the first step, actually, what you're going to do, you need to do the planning together as a team.
Yeah.
Because with the planning first, you need to define first the project scope or the project definition. then the communication plan, and then you need to define the constraints, then you define user persona, then the backlog, everything you need. The planning part all the time must be done as a group. After that, when it comes to coding, one of you can take one issue and work on it. Is the idea clear? I'll show you my project now, how I plan for it, so you get an idea. But anyway, just notice how can I define the user story. First, the title, it will be one user story. The logo, it will be one user story. The link here, it will be one user story. This part here on the left, it's one user story. Even you can make it two user stories. This text, and then you have different link, extra link. And this one could be also a one user story, and then the footer, it will be one user story. So like that, we have, I think, 7 or 8 user different story. Is the idea clear? Yes?
Each time we have to create an issue for each.
Of course.
Okay.
When you have your development strategy, you
Yeah.
divide the tasks between each other. So when you have your job, you know which branch you have to use.
So at the beginning, we have to work in one
On a
computer.
document.
So one
Yeah.
person will create everything, and after that, we will create the issues.
Yeah.
And each person on the group can do
Yeah,
the
and
issue.
then you assign this issue according to job that he was going to do on the website.
But the beginning will be like one computer is enough, and like.
Yeah, one will be writing and the other will be discussing. Just relax, relax. I'll show you an example. Just relax. So the backlog, what is the backlog? Is different user story. As I show you, a title can be user stories, a logo can be user stories, a link can be user story. So these user stories, I can put them in one file, which that's what we call the backlog. The backlog is different user story. After that, I will come and design my website. Design doesn't have to be super cool. You can just use this Excalibur, and they also exist for you. And after that, you can design your project here. It's very simple and it's nice. After that, I need to develop or write my development strategy. And you may tell me, what is a development strategy? Well, here's a development strategy. It will be the step. So you can create different user story here in the backlog. So the development strategy must reflect the design and the backlog. For example, in the backlog, I said, as a user, I want to see the title of the page. In the development strategy, I need to define, first, I'm going to create a branch called, for example, title. After that, I'm going to write my HTML, CSS. Then after that, I'm going to add my code or run all the code quality check. Then I'm going to push my code. Then I'm going to make a pull request. So the development strategy here, it will be very precise step how you can solve or create this backlog or these user stories. Is the idea clear? No?
Yes.
Yana? We'll see an example. After that, develop, you start coding, and then retrospective, it will be, the retrospective is when you start planning for the project, what you were expecting, and after you are done. So you compare the development strategy in the beginning and after you finish the project and see what went well, what went wrong, what did you learn? So retrospective is just learning from your mistake. When you just try to plan for the project in the beginning and when you implement it, is not always the same idea. Because, okay, you said, I'm going to add H1, for example. After you went to coding, you cannot add H1 for some reason. Then you need to change your plan, make it H2. Because Agile development here, it's flexible. You need to find a way to fix the problem. And after that, you will compare, oh, in the beginning, I was thinking I'm using H1. And after that, when I develop, I use H2. Is the idea clear? And after that, of course, small note here, all these documents are living documents. What do I mean by that? That means at any point of time, if your development strategy does not work, you can go back to your development strategy and modify it. Is the idea clear? All these documents can be changed depending on the problem you are facing. Because yes, I plan to do the project this way, but I was not able to do it. So I need to modify my plan in order to reach my goal or to reach some point close to my goal. Is the idea clear? No, yes. Let me show you my project. And after that, I will allow you to work on your project. Click on that. Let me go to mine. Of course, no stealing. I'm just going to show you so you have an idea. And after that, you need to build your own project. All about trees. Yeah. So notice my project, how it is. First, if I go down here in the main README, that's the project definition, as you can see. all about trees, a simple website about trees and some interesting scientific fact about them. So here, that's what we call the project definition. You need to add the project definition just in the beginning. You will just add these 2 lines only, the project definition only in the beginning. After that, when I define the project definition, I will come here. And as you can see, for the planning, I have a folder here. So I have pages. I have one page, it doesn't matter. Styles, public, you have the same. But in planning, if I click on the planning, as you can see, I have a lot of document here. Okay. The first document I need to create, what it was? Constraints. By the way, the order does matter. The order is very important. First, you need to define the project definition in the main README. Then you will start with the constraint. Let's see my constraint. So the constraint here, what are the constraints? I just add this definition, some boundary around my project. I have external one, which is the project deadline. It's just 1 week. For you, it's 1 day only. Okay. So it will be 1 day. Internal, it's just team availability. Not all the teammates were available. So that's the project constraint. Is the idea clear? Good. After that, when I define my project constraint, I'm gonna define the communication plan. So the communication plan here, we are, for example, here, that's a schedule on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Of course, the project that was for 1 week. For you, you have only 1 day. You shouldn't put this one. And after that, maybe availability, you all available here. For example, here, Samir is available 7 hours. You are available 7 hours. You will put your name here, everything. So it's not biggie here. The communication, you don't have a lot to write because you're already on the same class and already all of you have 7 hours. That should be fine. After I define my communication, I need to define the backlog maybe. So let's go, user personas. Let's go to the user personas here. In user personas, as you can see, of course, you need to use the same template. So for user personas, intermediate school student, the bio, Lara is an intermediate school student. Why does she need to come to my website? Well, Lara need to write a report about tree for her biology class. What's the frustration? Most of the website about trees are too complex for her. That's what, so I need to find a reason why she will come to my website. Scenario, scenario is just like a summary of all of that. He is an intermediate school student. She need to write a report about trees for her biology class. It's like the summary. The second one, which is a garden owner. Mike is a garden owner who loves greens. Mike is trying to search for more information about trees and plants, so he will be able to provide the necessary care for his garden, for example. Okay, what is that's the goal? What is the frustration? Mike cannot find a website which provide a it's user-friendly actually. User-friendly information. Most websites are too scientific and non-practical for him. What is the scenario? Again, it's like summary of them. Mike is a garden owner who try to get more information to keep his garden or his plant healthy.
Can we copy paste it?
No, of course not. I did this project just to show you how we will work, but you need to find your own idea.
You can Google and also.
Of course not. If copy paste is, then why you do the project? But you need to use the same template, same idea.
It will take lots of time, I think.
I know, but you have the whole day. You have the whole day.
Only 1 day.
Yes,
You're
but
not alone, huh?
you are 4 in the team. Okay, after I define my user personas, now I need to define my backlog. Now, what is a backlog? You need to understand backlog can be divided into 3 parts. You have must have, and here I just define must have. Must have, should have, could have. Must have, that's meaning you need to finish them before you deploy your website. Should have, that means they are okay, they are nice, but they're not very, very important. Could have, they're extra nice future if I have time. And here in my backlog, I just define must have. For example, if you remember, as a user, I want to see the title of the page. I told you the title could be one user story. And here, I need to add something here. Here, I need to add here, is there a clear title? So when I build the title, I will say there is a clear title of the page. So I'm trying now to see that I implement these user stories. That's why I'm adding this one. There is a clear title of the website or yeah, something like that. So you need, that's the user story and you need to write this one. That's what we call, how can I say? That means the user story you implemented. Okay, so that means you create the title just to make sure that you create them. Then as a user, I want to see the logo of Happy Trees, for example. There are two logos for the page because as you see, you have two trees here and here. Then as a user, I want to see the navigation bar. If you remember, we had navigation bars, 3 of them. Then there is a navigation bar there. As a user, I want to see the description. If you remember, we have some text here. I name it description. There is a description on the page. As a user, I want to see the links. We have some extra links. And there is some extra link. As a user, I want to see some extra link because it provides me some extra information. And I've divided and so on and so on and so on. So I divided my website into smaller parts. Each part is a user story. And I wrote it here in the backlog. Is the idea clear? Yes? Ahlam? Amra? Okay. After that, I need to define my design. Of course, I didn't do the design because we already have a design. So design is something simple, as you can see. I have title, and I don't think do I have a navigation bar? No, actually, I have logos here. And then I have some introduction, some info, and here I have some text. You don't have to write anything. You can just say, for example, text, and here's an image. The image normally we do, put it this way and then X like that. So that's
It
for
should be
images.
Exactly the same that we have on the backlog. If
Yeah,
we have
yes,
backlog, we
yes.
write
So-
title, so we have to put here title.
Exactly. So the design must reflect the backlog. In the backlog, if you have a title, you should mention title here. If you don't have something in the backlog, it shouldn't be included in the design. It doesn't make sense. So from you look at the backlog, and from the backlog, you make your design. And then after that, you will look at the backlog and you create your development strategy. We will see now, which is not easy actually. Is the design okay? Is the design clear? Good. Now let's go to the most important one, is the development strategy. Well, see now the development strategy. The development strategy is the step you need to process or you need to follow to build this website. First, what is the title of the website? All about trees. What is step 0? Set up. That means I will create a new repo from this template. I will add my collaborator. I will turn off get pages and give them right access. I'll protect my master or main branch. That's step 0. So step 0, I'm going to create a repo from this template. I'm going to add my collaborator, protect my main branch, add my collaborator, turn on discussion, and so on and so on. And as you can see, all of them are dot like that. After that, I will come to the first user story. What was the first user story? What was the first user story? Title. Title. So I will say one title. As a user, I want to see the title of the page. I will write it against the backlog here. Then I say, this user story is developed on a branch 9 title. I need to mention the branch as well. Then this branch is merged to main after completion. And then now I will come to here. Now, when I add a title, do I need HTML or not? Of course. Do I need CSS or not? Of course. So let's go to HTML. That's my HTML here. I will add the header tag. Then I will add H1 for the page title. So I will need to mention also my HTML, all the steps. For CSS, I need to add a class called centered item to the header. I need to display the flex and add padding.
Is it detailed?
I'm sorry?
Is it too detailed? I mean, it says make the display flex, make the.
Yes, yes. It's
Every
just what you are.
CSS you write. You have to write it also here.
Yes.
Even if we have some comment in own HTML, CSS5, we have always to.
So the idea here is the idea of development strategy. It's just like step to build the project. So if your development strategy is very clear, after that, when you come to coding, it's really simple. I will just create a header. Inside, I will put it an H1, and then I will add a class center item to the header, and then I will make it flex and add padding. Voila. So the development strategy are the correct steps, the detailed step you need to follow to build this website. Clear?
But on the template, there is already everything or not?
Yeah, there is
that's
some files, but here you need to create those. Because you need to create your, depending on user story. The first user story was the title, right? The second user story is what? Logo. Same idea. As a user, I want to see the logos of the page. Remember, there's 2 logos, not 1. This user story is developed on a branch called 10 logos. The branch is merged to master or main after completion. What HTML I need? Well, I need to add two images. What CSS I need? Well, the CSS I need to add class bouncy image to the image, and after that I need to add width and height, and then I need to add a keyframe because they are moving, and then I need to add a hover. You have the code, don't worry. You already have the code, the HTML and CSS, you have it. And so on, as you can see, that's the third user story. Same idea, that's the fourth description, then extra link, everything is in detail, as you can see. Voila. That's simply the development strategy. Is the idea clear? Yes? For everyone? Good. After I define my development strategy, I will not do anything actually. Wireframe we already did. The wireframe is just like design, whatever. What I need to do here, the retrospective, you need to do it after you finish your project. So when you finish your project, then you will do the retrospective. Why? Because a retrospective is comparing your planning with the final product. And after that, you'll see, what should I stop doing? For example, stop thinking too much or stop wasting time. What should I continue doing? Working with the teammate and try to work on the coding, for example. Start doing, so it's just like some feedback. Some feedback comparing your strategy plan in the beginning and what you learned during doing the project. The idea is clear? It will be very clear when you build your project. And for today, you need to write this development strategy, which is the most important. As for the code, you already have the code. So you already have the styles, I think. You have the index here, and not in index, actually in something else. So you already have the CSS, which is not big, and also you have HTML.
This is just to help you to how to collaborate together.
So the objective for today indeed is to learn how to do the planning. Now, a small advice. As you can see in my project, I have 15 branches. Let's click on them and see them. I want to see all the branch. So as you can see, the first branch one is the definition, project definition. So project definition, I put it on one branch. Then the communication, I put it in another branch. Constraint, I put it in one branch. User persona, I put it in one branch. The backlog in a branch, design in a branch, development strategy in a branch. Then each user story, which is title, logos, each in different branch. Is the idea clear? Yes? Well, we'll see. Of course, you need to have issue. You need to create an issue for each task. You need to create an issue. And if you have an HTML and CSS, it's a good idea to create two separate issues. One for HTML, one for CSS. Yes, for example, title here. Yes, I'm creating one branch, but for this title, I need two different issues. I want one issue for the HTML and one issue for the CSS. And after that, when I make my pull request, I will link both issues to this pull request.
But one branch.
One branch, yes. One branch, two issues. I will link these two issues to the same pull request. I think we talked too much now about this one. It will become much more clear when you start doing your project.